gentlemen, welcome to the New View Show, where we challenge the status quo and explore the world through a fresh lens. The New View Show is here to be your guide, offering insightful discussion, in-depth discussion, and meaningful conversation on the topics that matter most. Gone are the days of passive observation. Open your mind, expand your horizon, and prepare to see the world from a new view and fresh perspective. The New View Show is about to begin. Let's venture into a world of enlightenment, exploration, and endless possibilities.
Hey, welcome to the New View Meaningful Conversation. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
Did you all have a great Labor Day week?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course.
You
Look at my
really
tan.
brown. Yes.
Can you see the tan? It says it all.
Absolutely, I love it, and the white as well.
I
So-
know. How's
Well,
everybody
we've got a
doing?
new face too today.
No,
No,
it's the reoccurring
She's
face.
actually-
I'm the original. The original.
no way.
Like the
Well, I'm Michelle. That's Brenda.
Well, I'm actually fairly new. I'm made up, but yes. Yes. All right. So we're back here, guys, and I'm so excited. So why don't we just dig in and hear what we have here? Tell us about the questions that we have.
Have Brenda go first? As we
Yeah, of
haven't had
course.
her?
Yeah, Brenda.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
let's hear it.
What is
Let's
that burning
How
question
easy.
she's
Number
got
one.
there?
How can we break down the gender pay gap?
The what?
Ginger pay gap.
I don't understand. that.
Gender pay gap.
Gender. Oh. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's the hardcore right
good,
away.
yeah.
Wow.
Do we need to?
Can we go to that maybe a second one before
No.
that one? No?
No. Do we need to? I mean, what are you
Who
implying
makes
that?
more money, men or women?
Not
Why does it have to be a
necessarily.
competition?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what
Why
I
do it have
wanna
to
know.
be?
Same job.
I
Who
think-
makes more money?
I think men have always made more money than women, but women are moving up the scale where they're positioning themselves, where they're becoming entrepreneurs, where they don't need to work for corporations.
Right.
And so they're slowly moving up, so they don't need to work for these big corporations where men are leading and being the CEOs or the CFOs.
And is it okay for men to lead? I mean,
It's okay. Like,
that's
I don't
right.
know.
Is it
Why
okay?
is it like to fight? Like,
No,
why?
no,
Like,
it's not.
you
No,
want
no,
to lead?
but
Lead,
we
dude.
hear
You're
this,
taking a
don't
big
we?
burden off me. I don't know why you want to fight about something that is like. Do we really enjoy working that much?
Exactly.
That you don't want to
Yeah,
have fun?
exactly.
Like, dude, let him do the job. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I love
What
it. I
else
love
do
working,
men
but like,
do?
exactly.
What else are
Like,
they?
that's
We
the stigma.
are nurturers. I'm sorry. So I've
Yeah.
got 4 kids. I've got a big house. Well, fixer-upper. And the last thing I also want to have on my plate is be a breadwinner. And
Exactly. So much burden.
You know, I want to be that woman. I want to be able to nurture, to have time for my kids.
So you don't want to work?
I do want to work. I work in my way. If I had my own TV station, it's not because of the money. It's my passion. It's a desire.
So
So
you're
you work
comfortable
for
with
free.
being a homemaker.
I didn't say that. I said if I had my own show, right? I'm doing my passion. I still do my passion. I
You're
do
still
things on the
working, yeah.
side.
It's same thing with
I-
me.
I
I love fitness. I would
decided
like to
to-
work on fitness, like make my money, but it's something
Right.
that I want to do on my own time for fun
Yeah.
and for money without having to be the breadwinner and like the full responsible competing with my man who makes more money. No.
No. I decided, I suppose my life is different. I decided to have children. That puts a whole different view on life. It's different for me. It's not
When you
about
say
the money.
I, though, was it?
We, you
We,
could say
okay.
we. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. We agreed. I don't want anyone else looking after my kids. I want them to come into a world that they know what they need to do to be who they can be. And if I leave that to somebody else, I don't believe they will get all
But
of
let
that.
me tell you, you can have both too. Like you can also take
There's
a
no
break.
way.
Like for instance, me, I took a long, like 5 years break to raise my children, like my
Right,
child.
yes,
And then I
absolutely.
went back and I did what I loved at the same time, like I did Zumba for
Yeah.
fun and money while I was with my little one.
But that's a side gig,
But
right?
yeah, that was the side gig.
Yeah.
But then guess what? For me, that was a break from corporate and working and making money. After she was 5, guess who were back in banking? I did. But I had no choice. I was already divorced. You know what I mean? Like I had
So you
to.
had to go back.
I had to
the
go back
workforce.
to the field. But I can be comfortable in both ways because now I'm in that field and I'm so happy.
Yes.
You're in
And
real
so
estate, right?
Yes, I am.
You agree with this statement?
my life wasn't like their life, you know? I've been single.
That's okay, but do you agree with it?
Do I agree with it? You know,
It's their
not
journey,
necessarily.
right?
I think that, you know, the corporate world today is actually catching on with the equality and the women's movement. And, you know, there are women that are CEOs of these large companies now. They're presidents of these companies.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a
Nothing
gap
wrong.
anymore so much because,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, Hillary Clinton, for God's sake, she almost became the president of the United States.
Yeah.
So I think the world is changing very rapidly. And
I just think we need to be able to switch back and forth. Like, why it has to be forever that role? Why can't you just decide, I want to take a break of 5 years and then I'll work if you can, right?
there
If
are
you
guys
can.
that want to be fathers and stay home and let the woman be the breadwinner.
Exactly. Well,
I know
so,
people
so
that
you
are
know,
like that.
but if they have the money and they both agree, let's say he worked for 10 years and they have enough money for him to do that, let him do that. If he have the tools and the money. You know what I mean? But if he wants to go back, if he wants to go back,
So what
I
is
mean,
yeah, what
I
is it
do
that you
not
want? Yeah.
agree.
What do you
I do
disagree?
not
Yeah.
believe in a man being at home. I'm from the old school. A man has to be work.
But what if he was working like for 10 years and
No,
you guys
negative.
have all the money in the world?
No.
You don't think he has
Do
the
you
work?
want to get rid of him?
Listen very carefully. Listen to me very carefully.
okay.
I'm from the old school. A man must work. You don't work, you don't eat.
All the time?
Period. That's not a negotiation for me.
That's
You
not
mean
a
that?
nice
That's
life.
that's
I mean,
like all
I'm
the
from
time.
the old school.
Even if you have the
You
money
have
though,
to work.
even with all the money in the world.
He has
Okay, I have a
to
more
work.
I
fun
disagree.
question.
I
Can I ask
That's
my
not
question?
negotiable for me as a woman.
Okay, I understand. All right, we gotta respect, agree to disagree, and that's
Right.
you know
Okay,
this is
that
not
doesn't
about
disagree.
changing our opinions.
So let's
I
move
think,
on to the next question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever had you and your husband do a bucket list together, or you and your significant other do a bucket list together? Are those items on the bucket list the same?
No, no.
Not at all?
I cannot relate.
I actually have. I have.
I cannot relate because I've been single for so long.
Oh, okay.
So I cannot relate with any of that.
I
at
actually
all.
have, especially when we for trips, like we agree. Oh, this one. Oh my God, I want to go there too. And this, it's almost like super, like I said, God orchestrated or something. Even for the time being, I'm not saying that. Oh my God, he was the love of my life and he left me. It's not going to happen. I'm just saying, like for the time being, I have had that, and it's fun.
I think you need something to look forward to in a relationship. Otherwise, it gets
Absolutely.
boring.
Yes.
Oh, we've made ours until I'm going to live to 120, so I have a list that's forever going. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, the bucket list
So-
doesn't mean for today or
No,
tomorrow.
exactly.
It's like
So-
for as long as you can complete that. Maybe there's 100 things on it.
That's right. Oh, there is. And there was a thing that said that if you are intentional, you should get a book and keep writing. If money's not an issue, if nothing gets in the way, just keep writing what you want. Oh, I think I got up to about 500 things that I want to accomplish.
Yeah, and it's
Anything
fun
and
because life it should
everything.
be a fun journey.
That's
Although
right.
you know what I mean,
Without
like
limiting ourselves.
Exactly,
Of
like
what,
why?
You know, yeah.
God doesn't have limits. We are created to His image. Like,
right.
why do we have to put limits to like we
Exactly.
forever got to be prisoner to this? No, you can recreate yourself. You can
Absolutely.
study something new. You can decide not to. For instance, my goal this year, I've been sticking to them, and I'm so happy to see results. And I thought I could never do it because my life was always the same, until you decide to change the patterns and say, you know what?
But what does that have to do with the bucket list of the partner, the initial question? that was
Because there's some
asked?
people they settled for, maybe one thing in common, and they spend the rest of their life with someone miserable for the rest of their life, wanting to do all these things, and not being able to get out of the comfort zone and meet their real person. They have the same dreams and same goals.
But
And-
Some people they just settled.
My husband and I were very, very different, right? So my bucket list to his, mine's very lots of travel. I do the limelight. He's not so much that, but I enjoy also what his stuff is, which is kind of quiet. He likes to go in the middle of nowhere and take the RV, and we go camping and fishing, and that's okay. But he will come with me, moaning a little bit, but he'll do it. And
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
and so
And
we
enjoy
kind
it.
of, and it's been fun. He's
What's
really
the most
So he
fun
compromises.
trip?
You mean some compromise? He compromises.
He compromises, absolutely. I've taken him to Africa, and it was really hot. We had no AC. He endured it.
Where did you go in Africa? Did you do a safari?
No.
I always
just
wanna
as
do a
being family. I
safari.
do too. But to meet my family, they're very loud. His family's very quiet. I mean, all of that he endured twice. And
Yeah.
so, you
Let's
know,
just so.
My ex really enjoyed the Latin culture too, and the loudness and Christmases and like, wah, 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 we were loud, and he was like scared. Why did you guys yelling at each other? I'm like, oh no, we just talking.
And you guys think that they guys enjoyed it? They didn't
it doesn't
enjoy
matter.
it.
But they love
He
us.
got used to
They
it.
love
Trust me, they got
so-
used to it, and they end up loving it.
The question is bucket list.
Okay.
Well, the
Bucket list
bucket
means
list-
get what you want, not compromise.
No, I'm not talking
because-
about my ex-husband. I did have had.
I'm
Yeah.
saying the
Okay.
question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
I said
I-
it because she said that men must work. Well, if they're working all the time, how
That's
can
the
they
other
do the fun things?
That's right.
That's the other.
So the other bucket list was always to move to. We were living in Utah. My bucket list was always to live in Florida near my sister. I love the heat, everything.
Nice.
That was not his. He doesn't want to be in the heat, and so his dream is to have like 50
Somewhere.
acres in Wyoming. And I always said to him, "You will get that."
But you're in Waxahachie, and don't you have some
I will
land?
still have so we do that right, and
See,
he's
you
here.
compromise.
That's right, and we're still gonna make it there. That we'll have a place, and I think it will happen.
What is the next question?
Oh my goodness, do you not like that question?
I think I mean,
You want another
everybody
one?
should talk.
Okay, how about this question? Oh,
Okay.
but this one is again, it's a couple. Okay, just imagine that you guys are gonna meet someone, but that person has children. How do you blend if
The
you-
kids.
Yeah, how would you do that if you had some? Do you have some?
I mean, for me, I would need to understand how the children are being raised. What are the ground rules? Because there's a mother involved. Some mothers do not want you parenting their child. They do not believe in corporate punishment. So for me,
Do you believe in corporate punishment?
I believe in corporate punishment.
You do?
I'm from the old school.
Well, you keep saying about old
What
school.
is-
It makes
yeah,
it
what
sound
that
like
mean?
you're
Yeah,
old
yeah,
school.
yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
Like my mom was old
Oh
school
my
and
God,
everything. What
it's
happened?
spanking.
Yes, I'm from
Well,
the
I
old school.
was spanked too. I believe
Yeah,
in spanking
I was
too,
I
but
was
not
raised
like-
and
yeah.
I was raised in a Haitian household, and there were rules, there were responsibilities, there were things that were required of you. Was there a situation, as you mentioned, with the whole situation where there was a blended family? It came close, but it never got close as it related to my mother. I myself would not put myself in a position where I would date a guy with too many kids. That's
What's too,
not
what was
what's
too
too
many
many?
kids?
What's
Yeah.
too many?
What's
two
too
or
many?
more. Two or more.
Is too many.
Yes. For me, I have one child. She's an adult child, and if you're bringing in another child, then that parent, that mother, has to be incorporated in that relationship, and you need to understand the ground rules. I would want to sit down with that mother and say, okay, not him, but you.
What if she doesn't want to sit down with you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm going to be in that child's life, I'm going to want to have a conversation with her. That's non-negotiable.
But some-
I need
but-
to understand, hey, how do you want us to move? Because in order for this marriage to work, you don't want there to be any rift. You want to be have a cohesive situation going in.
But sometimes you cannot predict everything, honey. Like there's gonna be always things are gonna fall off the cracks. Like the mom is not gonna always do what you want her to do. Just
It's
because
not.
you know
Not
what I mean?
about me wanting her what to do. It's understanding. Going into the relationship. Hey, I'm marrying your ex or your whatever. Okay, let's set some ground rules.
Honey,
so that there's
I
no
have,
risk.
I have kids, and I have never, like
What about
my
going with the
exes
flow?
never sit down with anyone if I don't, unless I want to. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna let.
But you're not marrying that person. Are you married
Actually,
to that person?
I was divorced. I'm divorced, so.
No, I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that person permanent? Meaning, were you married to this person and your ex did not introduce himself?
I would not allow him to do this himself unless I said when to, and if I wanted to. Because if my ex is gonna put my relationship in jeopardy, I'm not gonna let him talk to my ex for what? Like If he had any issues with our kids being raised with somebody else, he could just go to court. I'm not going to put my kid in jeopardy. You know what
So I
mean?
have
Like,
a friend.
not gonna
She
work
meets
for me.
this
but
guy.
that's what I'm saying.
For
We're
me,
different. Yeah.
everybody's different. But
right.
I don't move that way, and I don't. That's not me.
I
So
understand.
she-
like, I
she's-
have kids and,
She wasn't married for like 8-9 years, got a divorce and met this wonderful guy, right? He's a doctor, but he had 4 kids, but they got on really well. They had great personality, and he has 4 kids, right? So he, right, and they get on so well.
Okay,
You're
but
saying
I'm
to me
saying-
that you would just say goodbye because you got too many kids, and I don't.
I would need to understand the dynamics of that relationship. I
Oh,
would need to
and the
understand
woman, the ex is
mental-
still
yeah.
there.
I would need to know the mental
really
health
think
of
that
that
people can get along.
family, the healthiness of.
How
that
do you measure
relationship.
that?
You have to study it. You have to go into
So how long would that be? You
For
would
me,
go
it would- okay,
counsel?
I would have to be intentional in counseling. I've said it from day one. Anybody that I date, we have to go straight into counseling because I need to know where your head's at, where your head
All
is.
right, okay. This is
Okay.
really intense. Let's, yeah.
It is. Hey.
It's
No,
really intense.
understanding.
Any other-
I'm more of a spirit.
I know, me too.
I,
Like,
I don't roll that way.
all right, let's go to another. I need a drink.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
really true.
I don't roll
All right,
that
first
way.
we're gonna go to commercial, and then after
Okay,
that we're gonna go to happy hour. All right.
This segment was brought to you by Blossom Botanicals, the perfect blend for healthy skin. Find us at blossombotanicals.square.site. Follow us on Instagram at bb.blossombotanicals.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Do you own a timeshare? At first, maybe it seemed like a great investment, but then you realized a lot of the promises made to you were simply not true. A little later, you started receiving the monthly maintenance fees and additional associated bills they failed to mention when you signed the agreement. And now their fees keep rising. Your times to actually use the timeshare keep shrinking, and the resort has no interest in letting you out of the agreement. Your vacation dream has turned into a timeshare nightmare. An overwhelming, never-ending financial obligation that will fall on your children after you're gone. And it seems as if there is no way out. Well, here's some great news. There is a way out. The Timeshare Exit Hotline has helped hundreds of people just like you. Desperate people who thought they were stuck in this burden forever. Although most professionals in the timeshare industry are legitimate, there are those that use aggressive, sometimes even misleading sales tactics to try and trick innocent people into signing their lives away. We've heard many stories of people who have been lied to and others who were kept in a room for over 10 hours, not provided water or anything to eat, pressured until they were exhausted. These people finally signed a contract just to get out of there. If you're one of the unfortunate people who have been roped into a timeshare nightmare and feel there is no way out, call the number on your screen right now. When we take your case, it means we are highly confident that we can win. We'll provide you with an affordable, one-time fixed fee and our 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Now you don't have to face arrogant, aggressive salespeople alone. We're experts in consumer protection, real estate, and contract law. Even if they bullied you into an agreement, rest assured they're not going to bully us. So don't wait. Call us right now. Even if you've tried another company that failed you, call us. Our track record of successful negotiations speaks for itself. The call is free, the information is free, and there is absolutely no obligation. A single phone call could free you of this burden. So don't wait. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline right now.
So the Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons.
The New View Show, where we offer insightful discussion, in-depth discussion, and meaningful conversation on topics that matter most. Now, back to the show.
Hey,
All right, so
welcome
we're back to the
back.
show. All right, so we are going straight to the next question. So go ahead, Michelle. What was the question that you
No, I
had?
was going to give it to you.
All right, so what was it?
Oh, was there a relationship that you regretted, whether it be a married one or somebody you dated?
I regret.
Like really regret, like really wish that you never married that person, really wish you never dated that person.
Oh dear, that's,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
deep.
You missed the
Yes.
signs.
Yeah.
For me, it would have to be my daughter's father.
Oh my goodness.
I regret that whole situation because it created generational trauma for my child. And subsequently, my child dealt with childhood trauma that I can never reverse. And she's now in counseling because of that. Things were done to her. She was violated, and I had no idea. I did not find out until COVID. She broke down and told me. And I said, why did you not tell me? And she said to me, she was protecting this person because this person had a future.
Oh, wow,
And
she
I-
jeopardized her own future for somebody else, huh?
This was her half brother who violated her.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, had I known that, he would have been locked up.
Right. Yeah.
And so, if I could turn back that clock, I would not have laid in bed with him. I would have not let him touch me.
Well, but here's the thing. Out of, God always made, beauty out of ashes, and you have a beautiful daughter, and now you can use what it was done for evil, for good. Be a spokesperson about abuse, abuse relationship, about all the kind of generational curses that you mentioned. Now you can speak against it. So these not continue to happen. So you know what I mean? You can undone what happened, but you can actually fix the future. You know what I mean? By speaking against it, by
I
telling your daughter to become someone against the type of
And the-
situation
and
that
the
she went through.
Thing about it is, as a parent, when you've gone through that same situation as a child, where you were violated, you were all these, you have a picture of what you do not want to happen to your child. So I thought I was protecting her, and I had no idea all the outbursts and her acting out were all was going on behind the scenes. And
Do you blame yourself?
I do. I blame
But you
myself
have
because
to
I should have
realize-
caught it because it happened to me. When I was a child, I was violated. People that my mom
So do
trusted.
you see the red flags in her and you ignore it, or you kind of have the
I
gut?
did-
Because
I
we
did
as a
not-
mom, like I'm
I-
a mom too, and I know when not I know always, but I had that gut when something is going on, even with my 26 that is not here.
I didn't catch it. I just thought she was just acting out because I was so busy being a friend to her,
To her.
than a parent to her, that I was buying her. I would give her everything. And so she didn't learn to be an adult until we became estranged. And she was forced to move out and get her own place and be an adult. And now she's like, I hate being an adult, but she loves on herself a lot. She loves on herself.
So what would you, what kind of tips would you give to someone that you feel are going through that? What would you say to, if you had to do this again, or someone, came to live with you and you noticed that all
What was
these
his
same
advice?
things,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to this person?
Pay attention to everything.
Like what? Like, you know, if you're
The
there's another
outbursts.
mother out there with a daughter or a son or
yeah.
a son even.
Yes.
The outbursts. Anything that is not, that's not normal that your child would, why is your child outbursting? Pull them to the side. Talk to them. Hey, let's go have a mother-daughter or mother-son or whatever. Ask questions. And most importantly, what I would have done differently, I would have not allowed overnight stays.
Why is that? I know.
Because
I
when
agree
you're
with
not
you.
aware, and the thing is, I was so trusting that this was, I had no reason to think that this was going on. There was no reason because this person was someone that was trusted.
Right. Well, that's
What
that's
age
the
did this
danger.
occur?
That's the danger, you know.
When she was 2 to 12. And I
2
had
to
no-
12?
and I had
way.
no clue.
Over
Because
these years.
Wow.
and she was acting out, and I just thought that she was just being the spoiled little kid.
But that is almost like it became a behavior for like a norm for her from 2 to 13. It's
And I just
how,
think she was
when did
just
she
like-
realize that that was not norm? Like, you know what I mean?
It will I think when she got into high school, she realized, no, something's not right.
Wow.
And she put her foot down.
Wow. That's bravery. Wow. That's like really.
Well, thanks for
We
sharing.
have to
That's-
always
that's
pray it over our
powerful.
kids and be, you know, those people that are the untrusted ones that we let them in our house, those are the ones that we have to be more careful. Because if you notice or if you heard of the stories on the news, most likely it's the closest uncle, the cousin, the half brother. Even like my dad always told me, trust no man, not even me that I'm your dad, because men are like wild animals. That's what my dad,
God.
like my
They're
dad,
not all.
my
They're not all.
dad said it in a way like to make me realize like don't trust anyone, like
Yeah.
don't trust no man, especially if there's alcohol involved, any type of drugs or whatever, they will lose their mind.
And I was
You
even, a friend of mine, her and I were having a conversation. She was telling me when she was young that her mother would say to her, you are not allowed to sit on any
And a man's lap.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that's a
don't
very
care if-
Latino thing.
I
Yeah.
don't care if they're related to you.
Yes.
You are
Yeah.
not allowed to
My dad
sit
always
on
said
their
that to
lap.
me. You just see no man's lap.
Yeah.
So I agree.
That's true. And what happened to the half brother then?
They're estranged. She has nothing to do with him.
And nothing happened to him, is what
No,
I'm saying.
no.
Why?
He continued to move on with his life, and
It's
she,
too late to
for
report
her,
him.
For her to her, she'll be reliving that trauma
Oh,
that she's seeking, that she's getting the necessary counseling. that
to
she's
report
done.
him.
Well, actually, I believe so.
Wow,
You
thanks
know,
for
there's a lot of
sharing.
women that I've known that have experienced trauma within the family. You know, even we have like their own brother is growing up. You know, they're
Fathers.
they're
too.
they're experimenting, especially kids, and they abuse their own sisters or cousins, thinking that it's not, you know, that it's okay. But that's why we need to talk to our kids and let them know the real world out there. Like, you know,
Well,
because if you don't
especially
tell
that
them,
they're not alone.
yes,
and
if you don't
it's
tell them,
not-
someone else will tell them the wrong way. You
And,
know.
and then you have to understand, there's a seed that's being planted,
Mm-hmm.
and once it take root, it is hard to uproot something that has been
Yes.
planted.
Yeah, unless, you know, but there's always hope. Like I'm they're always like, we're hanging into hope.
Yeah.
Because that's miracles God have set people free, and now they've spoken person about, you know, sexual abuse or violence, whatever it is. Let's just, like, I'm the type of person that I hope and I pray that I move on and just use it for the good. Instead of staying in the trauma, you know what I mean? Like, go to therapy, take her to therapy, but most likely encourage her to
She's
be a
going-
spokesperson
She is going to
against
therapy.
that.
Thank God, she is going to
Yeah,
therapy.
and
She's
encourage
going-
her to use it for the good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I'm sure she's so strong. For her to come out and say what that happened, she's
and
strong.
She was 21 when she revealed this to me. I'm like,
Wow.
why didn't
That's
you
really
tell me this?
long.
We would have had him arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I would not
Yeah.
have blinked
Because
an
she was
eye.
probably scared.
Is he
and
still around? Can he still be
probably-
arrested? Can he still be held
Probably was
accountable?
afraid
She's
her
around,
whole
but I think
world
she
would
just
fall
want
apart.
to put.
Absolutely.
She just want to forget that that trauma. She wants to put it behind her.
Got it. All right, so let's go to the next
Thank you
question.
for sharing. That is
Yeah, thank
Right.
you. I know that was
We're
very.
not using my questions.
All right, Afua, you have any questions?
Yeah, well, come on, you got one.
You know, I liked what I have my friend in the studio from England. Her accent's
friend.
very British. Anyway, she was talking about we were talking about if you go somewhere and you're single, well, with your husband and you're working, do you go Dutch? You know, do you allow the man to pay for you, or do you think it's okay for you to pay? For me, it's really odd because they asked me into the date, so you're gonna pay. I just
Well, it's
still...
on a first date, that's fine, I understand that.
But
But like once it's
second,
your
all the
boyfriend or your
time.
boyfriend or your husband, and you
Yeah.
were like so become best friends, and you want to go out and you have the money, you know he hasn't gotten paid. I don't mind paying. You know what I mean? If I have the money.
You know, I just don't
If it's my
understand.
boyfriend or if it's my boyfriend for the
Yeah.
longest, and if it's my husband, why not?
Well, yeah, if it's my husband, obviously.
I don't believe in pain.
Well, that's again.
Yeah, you know,
Again, I'm from the old school. I believe that a man should pay for everything. Nothing should be coming out of my pocket. You know, what's his is mine, and what's mine is
So
his.
do you have the same account?
Do we have? Yes, of course.
Yeah, if you're working and he's working, do you have one account?
No. I believe in separate accounts. There's the account for myself. There's an account for him.
Okay.
There's an account, the family account, to take care of their expenses, which he will be paying. I will not be contributing to that. And then whatever monies he's not using come to me.
Oh, good.
Okay.
She's the real queen bee.
Yeah.
For
Okay,
real.
so how does
What
that work?
What do you think about?
If you're one,
Yeah.
if you're
you
truly
won, yeah.
saying you're one with a man, I
Right.
mean, what doesn't that? What's
Applies
his
to everything?
motivation? What's
Yeah.
his? I mean, you're supposed to be one.
And everything,
yeah. How
If
does
he's
that
coming
work?
home to a home cooked meal, he is being loved on. He is being spoiled.
But
he
he's
is-
saying the same
But it's the
thing
same
about
thing
you,
to you.
though. Yeah.
He could get somebody else to do the same thing
No,
for you.
What's his
the
incentive?
Exactly.
His incentive was the ring that he put on my finger and I said I do.
But it's the same thing with
The
you.
ins-
Like you picked him out of like of all of you
Yeah,
guys to
but the
please
thing
you
is,
and all that and
one-
to help him.
And
Because
the
what if something happens to him and it's all about what he brings? And what if he gets sick and get like injured?
But
then you will leave him?
that's a whole different ballgame.
Well, honey,
But
you
wait,
need to
are
be
you
mentally prepared
are you
to-
married
and
to
that's
one?
and that is
Have you
why
been
and that
married?
is why when you get married, you set aside
But have
savings
you been
account.
married?
No, I've never been married, but I.
But see,
Oh, okay,
it's going to be different when you're in the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, honey.
You have to
can't
set up
predict-
savings.
But you
You
can't
have to
predict
save-
everything. I mean,
You have
my
to prepare.
opinion.
You have to create safety nets. There's a savings.
agree with that.
There's an
I
emergency.
agree with that.
Absolutely,
I think you should have a
100%.
safety net.
Make
100%.
investments. You know,
But
one
not
thing.
everybody has your position financially, honey. Think about it.
There, you can
you
put
can do
$5,
that.
and that $5 in many years become $1 million.
But things you cannot predict every
That's an
little
awful
step
long
in
time
life.
these
You
days.
know,
And that's what, and people have done it for far less. Made $1 million in over 30 years, being very frugal.
No, I understand that. Like that part, I
Yeah.
get it. But what I'm saying is, like, I cannot just put my husband in a box just for him to work, and you get all the money. And what is the motivation for him even wanting to be with me, other than
The motivation is what comes with the responsibility of becoming a husband, and a husband is to be the provider.
that sounds like a lot of work. Why would a man want to? I mean, they also want to
why
have
would
fun.
why would you make a man? Why would you want him to do less?
Honey, they're not. I mean, for me particularly, I see him as
They weren't
equal.
put on
I
this
see him as
earth to
equal.
work for you.
Yeah, I
A woman,
agree.
a man
No,
and woman
yeah.
can never be equal. He has his responsibilities and duties, and you have your
But,
responsibilities.
but
in
they're
the
human
relationship.
beings that's equally before the Lord. You know what I mean? They both have responsibilities, yes,
Yes,
but that
yes.
doesn't mean he's to cave to you only. You know what I mean? And to like, live his life around you. That's not. It's we call each other a helper. The Bible says, "I
Yes.
give you a sort of a helper."
Yes,
But you need to
and
help
that's-
him too.
And that doesn't necessarily mean me paying all the bills.
Oh, but
that
I'm
me
not
being
saying that.
me being the wife, household, I'll be managing
Well,
the
what
money.
would you be
and-
doing for fun with this
Yeah, for these men.
person that you're going to marry? That is not there
What,
yet.
what do you mean? Explain.
Well, if he's working all the time, right? I mean, like,
Paying
You
all the
plan.
bills.
You plan accordingly. Family trips, things to do. You budget the
but
money.
everything
you manage
has
the
to,
household.
what about spontaneity? Is there
Yeah.
any
There's-
spontaneity?
There is.
I mean, like,
And that's
hey,
why I
let's
come
go
in
away
and
for
say,
the
hey,
weekend.
you know, I have a surprise. Hey, take the day off. Let's go do this.
Oh,
but
you
that
Oh,
love
so
money-
you
that.
do give him a day off.
Yes.
So what's the perfect man for you?
There is no perfect man but God.
Okay, this is amen, amen. Okay,
There's
do you
no
have
per-
pointers of the man that you would like in your life? He looks a
He
certain
has
way.
to love. He has to love God.
Amen.
He has to love God.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well, any man can come to you. How do you know he loves God?
how he acts, how he treats his mother, how his walk in his
Well,
life.
you have to
how
show
he,
the fruit of the Spirit. You
Yeah.
need to show the fruit of the Spirit in the
I'm
Bible.
not going to make moves.
Right.
He has to be intentional. I'm not just going to jump on something. And most importantly, my prayer life is on fleek. I don't move without God telling me to move. I use my discernment. Fleek, meaning that I'm on point. I don't make moves without God. I pray
Amen.
before I make any type of move when I'm dating a guy. I pray on it. I observe. And most importantly, I watch and I listen. One thing I've learned, listen, because a guy always tell on himself.
Oh, absolutely.
And do you have a time frame for this? I mean, or would you just study this person for?
I mean,
Sorry, but it sounds really rigid.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
mean,
very,
I-
yeah, it sounds
I
a little
mean,
rigid
it-
to me too. Like too
for
much
me-
planning.
Yeah, for me,
Because
I-
things.
Wait. She's gonna tell me about
Awesome.
how long.
Yeah,
this
but we need to
period
kind
is.
of
read
have
that.
other. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
it could. I mean, I could
it's
marry
good,
the guy
but this
for
one
Let's
goes
just make
back
it
to
another
the one
question,
It
that,
yeah.
doesn't necessarily
like,
have to
you
be
were
a specific
talking about.
time frame. Just
Okay, that's cool.
anything.
Yeah.
It could be a month, and I'm like, you know what, this is the guy for me. Because there's some people have married somebody within 2 weeks, and they knew that was their soulmate.
Yeah, I know
That
that
was
too.
their,
Yeah, yeah.
that was their purpose partner.
Yeah, I've actually known people that within 3 months they got married, and first
You know,
time
I
they've
believe
seen each
everybody
other.
has a purpose partner, and our minds is out there, and God is
Absolutely.
preparing that person for me.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, my other question is then, because it's got it. So, I think I'm a sexy woman, right? But lately I've been feeling not like that.
Why?
Because I don't know. I don't know. I'm powerful. I feel that. I'm the light. But when you feel like that, I don't know, none of you feel like that. So my question is, if you were to feel like that, what do you do to raise your spirit, to feel that light, to feel that greatness?
I worship. I put my music in worship.
Oh, yeah. And that makes you feel great.
Oh my God, it gives me that place of peace that regardless of how I feel, how I look that day,
Yeah.
God brings joy to my life, and then I forget about everything.
Just like
Worship,
that.
just worship my hands and tear if it's something that is, very like hurtful.
Yeah.
And it bring me that peace that I let go of the baggage or whatever situation, and I feel like light. But that's what works for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, my prayer life is very strong. I pray in the morning, I pray in the night, I pray all throughout the day. All I do is, it's God the whole entire day. I have no life but God and work. My whole life is surrounded by God.
Just made me feel evil. No, I'm
Yeah,
just-
my whole life is surrounded. I
didn't
don't
say my
allow-
prayers enough.
I have to work hard not to allow certain things, because you learn not to feed on certain spirits. And once I see that you have you're doing things that not aligned with the Bible, that I just cut you off. I don't stop talking to you. I just wean myself.
Walk away.
I wean myself from you, because that's not me. That's not what I'm about. I don't need that.
Okay, what makes me feel sexy and alive?
Well, it doesn't have to be sexy, but it just
Well,
has to be
okay.
boring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go boating.
We go swimming.
We go swimming
I
and
get,
go
you know,
boating. Like,
I
and
get
get
on my
some tan.
bike and I go bike ride, or I go to yoga, and after yoga, after a nice 90-minute of Bikram, it's like you feel like you could conquer the world.
Is yoga relaxing? I've always wanted to do that.
I don't know. It's not really relaxing. It's just like
not work.
it's
Yeah, you're just the
mental,
minute that
you know?
minute that you like burn calories and you
It
use
helps
that.
you burn-
Yeah, it does.
And then I work, and then I write a
Dancing, yeah.
contract,
It loses you in the
and I make money,
Yeah.
and then
And then
I'm
everything's
happy.
good. That's right. Yeah.
And I play with my dog.
dancing,
Yes.
releases
I
your
dance
happy
with my dog.
hormones. Yeah.
I was just wondering that because today I woke up and I was like, it was so funny because I got an email saying, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'm okay." And then I felt my spirit feel like, "No, you're not okay." But get in the car, get to work, and all the stuff. And I thought, I'm going to stay in this car because I'm not feeling it. Like I didn't want to see anyone, but I don't know what it was. And the sun was shining on my face, and I just thought, you have a choice.
Yes.
That was the thing that came to me. You have a choice to either stay in this,
miserable,
stay in this, because really, that's how life is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're doing life.
You gotta
You
move
can
on.
either stay
Yeah.
here and be miserable, or you
Or-
can say,
Do you
Yes.
go to the beach ever? You go
heck
down
yeah.
to the beach.
I try to do it every week.
Sunrise,
yes, put my feet in there.
sunset,
Yes, I do.
I actually
try to do that.
crave the salt water.
I do. I
It's
go
lovely.
literally almost every week. I have to be at least 3 times a week.
Oh,
the beach.
3 times. I haven't. I was just doing once a week, but I
Yeah.
need to do more.
Yeah.
I do.
To piggyback off of what you said, what roles does media play in shaping women's self-image?
Oh
And
my
how
goodness,
can we
that's so good.
create, a more empowering narrative for all women?
Absolutely, that's a good one. Don't look at Instagram or anybody and say that, oh, look at all those smiles, what they're wearing.
But it happens.
Oh.
Like, they have created this awful body image in not just the teenagers, but also in women like us. You know what I mean? Because now every feed that you have is either something empowering you to look this way, this size.
Absolutely.
So you have to be very
strong.
strong-minded and know who you are, your identity in Christ. In my case, know my goals are different than that person's goal. My DNA is completely different, and I don't let that make me feel bad, less, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because my goals are totally different than probably yours. For you, you're amazing and you feel good in your own skin, and whatever you eat makes you feel happy, and this is where you should be. And once I changed my mind with that, because before I used to compare, I'm in the fitness industry, right? So I did the same diet as somebody else's, or workout the same exact time and all of that, and I didn't see my body progressing as that person. Then I realized, oh, you can eat sugar all day, and the minute I put sugar in my mouth, I feel like bloated. But guess what? I realized that I was gluten-free, intolerance, and all of that stuff. So of course it's not going to work for me. So I apply that for everything: sizes, colors, shapes.
But do you think that society can weave you to go a certain way?
You could.
Like,
Absolutely.
even media, fashion.
It does.
There's so much out there that
Of
says,
course.
buy me, look at me, do this.
But that's, you got to be
And
strong.
but
strong.
how do you weave that, saying, this is what I stand for, this is who I am?
Connect yourself. Know your
I
identity.
think for me, for a very long time, for 20 plus years, I allowed myself to get huge. I was a very small person, and I lost recently 80 pounds.
Yay! Woo!
Within 8 months.
Wow.
And
Goodness.
it had to take me sitting in the hospital 8
you
months
see.
ago.
Yeah, to
saying,
realize that you need to change.
you need to change. And it wasn't easy. And now I have all this loose skin. And I'm like, how do you begin to repair the 20 plus years that you did to yourself? Because I kept eating for 2. And so I had to change the trajectory of my image. And I have a lot of loose skin, which, later on, I have what they call a fupa. I don't know if you're familiar with that. A fupa is when you have excess skin underneath your stomach. So you can't just exercise to lose the weight. So for me, I made a decision next year, which will be budgeted, to have a tummy tuck, but that's the only thing. But my arms and my thighs, I can work that out. But the fupa, that can't be
fixed,
fixed.
unless there is surgery involved,
Aren't you worried about that, the surgery?
I am not, because I found a quadruple board certified guy. He's very well renowned. His name is Dr. Zuri, that I'm going to do that surgery with. But I have to budget and plan for it accordingly so that I can have my family care for me.
But you're not doing that because of body image, because of the internet. Back to the
You're doing it
question,
because of
right?
you.
You're doing it because of you.
I'm doing it because of me, and because, correction, I don't like the extra skin and how it looks on me when I'm wearing certain clothes.
No,
It hangs.
Right, so you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing, not
Yeah.
because of the body image and the pressure that you see on Instagram, that you
No.
feel like, oh my
But
God, I have
how
to
do
change.
you feel inside now that you're this weight? How do you feel?
I feel
Are you
much-
comfortable in
I
your
am,
skin?
I am happier that I'm 80 pounds lighter.
That's a big accomplishment.
I am happier. Now it's like, okay, Brenda, what do you do next? Now we just need to get rid of the excess skin. We're going to work on the arms to tone it up. And then eventually the sagging will go away. And then you'll be back to your old self.
And that's what you want. But good that you're not taking
But
that
what about
pressure.
today? What about today? Are you happy today, or are you going to be happy when that happens?
Oh, no,
Happier.
I'll be happier. I'm not happy with when I look at myself in the mirror because I'm looking at the saggy skin. However, I dress appropriately and I dress myself so that I'm confident in my own skin when I'm walking out the door.
But I believe that the motivation itself of doing that, it's getting her happier as the journey progresses. Just
As
the
long
fact
as
that
you're
you have
thinking
a
positive about
Right.
right,
everything.
exactly. Like this is a
Every
journey that you're going
moment,
through.
yeah.
Like
'Cause
I'm
the
excited because next
positivity
year I'm going to go through
Creates
this. So that's
hormones.
exciting, you
Yes,
know?
it does, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Right.
you know, just as you are today, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. I could tell that you'd lost from the videos even, you know? Isn't that the videos were a couple of months ago or something? Yeah, that there was something different. And just loving on ourselves as we are today.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's so important.
I think
'cause-
it's important that because the image affects kids because they're teaching kids.
Yeah.
Oh
When
my
you're watching the
goodness.
TV, when you're watching the feeds in Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok, oh, do this and you lose 20 pounds. I was doing these binges because I was desperate, but it had to take me being hospitalized to say, okay, Brenda,
This is not working. Yeah.
this is not working. Let's change.
But you know what? That's what we were talking about fitness the other day with someone, and it says, I think it was yesterday, we were talking about with Anthony about that this should be a lifestyle commitment. This is not something that I would do it for 20 years and then I think it's gonna, I'm gonna stay like this for the rest of my life. It isn't. It needs, the change needs to start over here.
Yes.
Because if it doesn't, you're gonna go back to the same place, and it's gonna be worse because then you're gonna see the picture. Look how I look 20 years ago. If I'd have, kept on doing it, but that we gotta keep doing it every day, even
the
when we
battle
don't want
begins
to.
with your mind, and for me, it was mentally, it was challenging.
Yeah,
for me.
it's a lifetime
I'm going
commitment.
to ask a real quick question. We're talking about mental state and children. How do you feel about, you know, other people's kids being furries? I know it's just off the topic, but
Furries?
Explain.
Yeah,
you
what's
know,
that
by
mean?
furry?
where they're allowing kids to be like cats and dogs and stuff like that, and they're instigating these things inside of
I'm
schools.
not understanding.
I
I'm
don't
not understanding
understand.
what that. I don't understand what that
Well,
means.
I'm just saying, right? If you do have you have a child and stuff,
They-
and they allow kids in
To wear-
schools,
to be
public schools, to
furries.
be, they call them furries.
I don't know what that means.
And my question to you guys is, if society tells you that your kid can be anything, would you go along with that? If your
No.
child is
A dog, you mean? Comes
to
and
be
says
a
they
dog
want
or a cat, or you know, would you
Wait.
allow them to do
that
that?
real?
But you see,
That
this is
real.
this is
And
happening.
They put kitty. What do you call those? You know where the cat goes to the bathroom?
Kitty litter.
Yeah.
Are you
in
kidding me?
Litter in a
schools,
classroom?
no, in the bathroom, and allows them to.
Well, no, but this is
no.
this is
So my
getting
question
this
to
is
you
getting
is,
too
you know,
this
it's not
is
just
getting
about
out of control.
Our image.
I don't cave into that
Would
myself.
you?
I'm
What
old school
would you
in that
say
way.
about that? I mean,
Me, I'm like
No.
what she said, I'm old school. You are a boy, this is a girl. Excuse me, so I'm not trying to be controversy, but this is crazy now. Going to animals, so what's next?
Well, yeah, and it's happening in places that you wouldn't even think.
Like in
Schools.
school, yeah,
go
do
to
it at your
therapy.
house. But they do it at your house.
That.
Like do it at your house and your own, but no expose
Why
my
would you
child
even
to all
say
of this.
that though? Why
Right.
would you allow? I mean,
But
what
what
kind of
about
parent?
But
bullied?
if
Aren't
you-
they going to get bullied?
Yes.
That's the funny thing. We haven't heard about that. You know,
But
they
why don't they
actually
talk
wear
about
the
it?
outfit and
So
they're allowed
that's
to
a
do
child
that.
abuse. If
But
you allow that going that far,
allowing
your child's going to be
teachers
bullied on your
allowing-
responsibility.
Allowing kids to
That's like
answer
having
by
a
making
kid
the
wear a
sound of an
dress.
animal.
Yeah.
No, that's
That's you allowing your
that's-
kid to be bullied and you are responsible for it because you know what? You're letting that child to dictate the rules in the house. When is it a parent a parent?
Yeah, that's right.
When is the
that's
parent?
right. I mean,
When-
that just opens up like
when
a can
does
of
a kid
worms.
all of a sudden that is under 18 has the right to do whatever they want until they actually work? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't play.
I
those
don't
games.
understand these
No,
things in this
I-
society.
But the fact that it's happening, that it's
Wow, I didn't even
and
know
it's
that.
happening in our schools that we send our kids to, that we get, that was mind blowing.
I
That
did
we've
not know
gotten
that.
this far,
Wow, I didn't know that.
and that
Me
that
neither.
teachers
time
are
I've
actually
seen that.
answering to that. That's just.
I didn't.
I
even
learned a
know
lot
that.
from
So
this
we're talking
show.
about
Wow.
we're
See?
talking about body image. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're talking about body image, and what are we doing for our children and other people's children, and
I
allowing
think
all
we
of
need to be
this to
speaking
Well,
life.
I need-
happen?
We need to be speaking life
honestly-
into our children. We need to
Yeah,
be
life and
Absolutely.
praying
Reaffirming
against
them,
it. Yeah.
It's not as easy as you think.
But I think it's
mean,
having that conversation with children. I really like our kids. We're always talking about different issues that we hear, because if they don't feel like you're interested in them, in what they see and what they hear, then they're going to carry that. And then I always say to my kids, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That means also us in that if we fail to educate our children, doesn't matter how
Yeah.
old they are, if we fail to educate them in what our values are, someone else is going to give it to them.
That's what I'm saying. You need
And
to
I
do
think
that
that's
at
what's
home.
happening.
You need to do that at home because somebody else is going to give the wrong information to your child, and you know.
That's
To
right.
the
Think
children.
we have to go to a commercial?
So,
No?
No,
no commercials?
No.
Oh,
So I think
okay.
it's important to
Yeah.
educate our kids.
And speak life.
And
like you
if
said,
I
yeah.
could, turn back the clock, I would be a different mother. But all I could do is learn from it, and God never positioned me to have more kids because I had made a decision that if I was not married, I was not going to bring another child into this world and struggle, because I understood how hard it was being a single mom, being on welfare, being on Section 8. That was hard, and I got off with all that stuff. But people don't understand. That stuff is set up.
The struggle is real. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just
Well,
think that,
yeah. No, you're being very,
you're being powerful. You're
very
being
vulnerable
powerful right
today.
now.
So thank you for sharing all that
Yeah.
stuff. It really encouraged all of us and to all these women out there that
I
are
got a
struggling.
question.
Yeah.
In a couple of minutes. Would you raise your children with the same philosophies that you have?
Absolutely.
I do.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Even
oh,
better.
th-
I want them
yes.
to be
I
better.
think
Oh,
I'm
even
wiser.
better,
yeah.
If
Yeah.
I was this wise when I gave birth to my child 25, I would not have made the mistakes that I made.
Same.
But I think the mistakes is what I needed to learn so that I can empower another woman that's struggling, that's on welfare, saying, get off of this system. The system is set up to keep you down. Get off of it.
Absolutely.
And if your
Amen.
child or daughter grew up opposite of what you believe in, how would you handle it?
You'd have to accept that.
How are you going to? How are they going to
Unconditional
go
love.
the opposite? Let's say if you're the one raising them, you should see the red flags. and-
Yeah, I really,
I
you
mean,
know,
until
yeah.
they're 18,
Really?
until they're 18, like let's see, I have a 13-year-old. Okay, as much as she wants to do her will, she needs to be under our rules, regardless
It's
of how she
changed.
feels. I understand that.
I think
What
it-
are you going to do if a child changes on you?
You know what? You know how they say if there's two people in a home, it really makes a difference.
It
I
does.
think it really makes a difference. It's harder, definitely harder if you're doing it by
They
yourself.
change. Like mine have
It
changed.
does.
She doesn't even want to talk and hang out with me anymore unless like I bring gifts and things like that. But anyway, we just got to keep praying and leave it to God because we can't control
Because
everything.
why would a child anyway? At the end of the day, if you're showing them a good time of having great values, and this is the consequence of knowing who you are. I think as parents, we need to know who we are. We need to shine and be that person.
Yeah.
An
Even
example
if they
for
change,
them.
and even if they change, you're still
They'll
doing your
always
job
find-
regardless. They always come back. They always gonna
That's
come
right.
You
So
have no
as we
houses?
are coming to a close,
back. All right, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's been very affordable today, and
Sorry, I think
anyway,
you had
till
another
late.
question.
Oh, Freddie, you have another
Blow it
question?
up.
I'll wrap it up.
Freddie's
wrap it up.
Angels.
Yeah, I know. We're
All
wrapping
right.
it up. All
Thank
right,
you so
guys. So it was
much.
nice talking to you, and till the next
Nice
show.
talking to you guys.
This segment was brought to you by Blossom Botanicals, the perfect blend for healthy skin. Find us at blossombotanicals.square.site. Follow us on Instagram at bb.blossombotanicals. And that concludes another thought-provoking episode of The New You Show. We hope that our exploration of diverse perspectives and in-depth conversations has left you with a renewed sense of curiosity, empathy, and a deeper understanding of the world around us. Remember, the journey does not end here. The discussions sparked by The New View Show are meant to continue beyond the confines of this program. We encourage you to take what you've learned, share it with others, and engage in meaningful conversations in your communities, both online and offline. Thank you for watching, and join us next time.